Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of the All We Do Is Talk podcast. We're here with week 11 predictions and picks. I'm here with Isaiah and Moody. How are we doing today, boys?
What's good, y'all? Week 11.
Exciting for we entering it's time now. The playoff teams are about to start flexing their muscles a little bit. The bad teams are about to start getting these upsets. That's what I'm looking forward to this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna some great matchups, but some ouch. So we're gonna start in Cleveland, where the cover gods coming off a tie, minus 12.5 for Cleveland, over under 43.5.
This is so gross. I am not looking forward to this at all. I can't imagine. Jared Goff's probably out, so they're gonna start Tim Boyle at quarterback. I don't know. They're gonna start Tim Boyle at quarterback. Obviously Baker Mayfield's got 4 different injuries, and they're gonna drag his corpse out there for some reason. I don't think he's gonna finish the game. I don't think he'll finish the game. But luckily for Cleveland, Nick Chubb was activated off the COVID-19 list. Their defense is pretty healthy. Their offensive line has most of their guys except for Conklin. I think they're talented enough and probably pissed off enough from their performance last week to handle a bad football team in the Detroit Lions. I expect Cleveland to run the ball efficiently and dominantly with Nick Chubb and De'Arness Johnson mixed in too. Hit some play action passes over the top. I don't expect Detroit's offense to do a whole lot, so I'll take Cleveland to cover and the over.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect from this game. I guess we'll get to see. I don't know who Tim Boyle is. I was like, I don't know who that is. I don't know if he's played before. Is this his first career start?
I think so, yes.
I think he only has like 3 passes.
Yeah, he's a Cooper Rush type of start. Like, we never seen this before.
As for Baker Mayfield, he's beat up senselessly. I don't know why he'd be playing, but they got Nick Chubb back. Offensive line's a little beat up. I'm going to stick with Cleveland here, but I'm going to pick – yeah, I'm going to take Cleveland 28-16, which means I'm going to take Detroit to cover. But I think Cleveland will get the win, but I'm going to take a cover because 12.5 points with beat-up Baker Mayfield / Case Keenum versus whatever Detroit will be trying out. I don't see this game. Nobody's going to run away from anybody in this game too far. So, yeah, I'll just take the cover for Detroit, and I'll take the over, which it's going to sound we'll see about that
one. I don't know how you're taking Detroit in this situation. I think they'll
just to cover 12.5.
Who's Tim Boyle?
Are they going to score? Like that?
I remember saying the same thing a couple of years back when they trotted out the kid for the Thanksgiving game. What is his name?
David Blau?
Yeah, David Blau.
They still got boat race that day.
But he still put some points on the board. Like, they barely – how did they score with Jared Goff? I mean, he's terrible too. So I think it won't be that – what we'll find out is
Jared Goff might be the 31st, 32nd, 33rd best quarterback in the league.
That's what I think we find out, that Jared Goff is actually pretty bad, and it's not a big difference between Jared Goff ability and borderline NFL quarterback ability this week. That's what we'll find out. That's what we'll find out.
I hope they get handled just so we can put some respect on Jared Goff's name.
And if they win,
if they win, that's a problem. It's not good optics if they win.
Eric, go ahead and continue with your pick.
So I will take Cleveland and the under. I just think Detroit's going to have a real tough time trying to score. So 43.5. I know that's low, but I think points are going to be very scarce for one side here. Moving on, let's go to where San Francisco is doing one of the farthest trips of the year, going to Jacksonville. San Francisco is minus 6.5, over under 45.
I feel like this is kind of a letdown trap game for San Francisco. You got that awesome win against the LA Rams. Now you have to go cross country early to play a bad Jacksonville team. There's going to be low energy. I don't really expect them to really be amped up for this one. But San Francisco's a better football team, especially in the trenches, which is where I think they'll make their hay the best. I don't think anybody in Jacksonville could block Nick Bosa at any point in the game. He'll terrorize Trevor Lawrence, force him into a couple turnovers, and I think that'll open up the opened up the game for San Francisco. Jacksonville's defense actually been playing really good over the last few weeks, especially in the secondary. And if they can keep that up and contain Deebo Samuel and George Kittle, maybe they have a chance to fight like they did against Buffalo. But in the end, only a 6 point, 6.5.
6.5.
It's not so big that I think Jacksonville is going to be that competitive in the game. So I'll take San Francisco to cover and the under.
Yeah, I'm not going to say much. I agree fully. I don't care what time zone San Francisco is behind and how many of them they are. They'll be good enough to go into Jacksonville and handle this game. This is one of those gimme games that they need. If they lose, it'll be so terrifying coming off that great win. But I think they're going to use a confidence builder of getting that big win against LAR last week. And San Francisco, I think, is still a good team. I always thought they were a good team. They've been banged up. Their coaching has been suspect. Their quarterback play has been random. And George Kittle's been hurt a lot. So I think San Francisco, now George Kittle's healthy. Deebo Samuel's healthy. Brandon Ayuk is out of the doghouse. Jimmy Garoppolo is healthy. And even when Jimmy Garoppolo's playing, they'll have what they need. They'll have what it takes. I'll still take the under because I took the score. I took San Francisco 28, Jacksonville 14. Maybe we see some good stuff out of Jacksonville, but I doubt it. So that's San Francisco on the under.
Yeah, I think we're all on the same page on this one. I just don't trust Jacksonville at all, laying almost any number inside of a touchdown. So give me San Francisco and an overall better team than Jacksonville. Let's move on to Buffalo. Indianapolis Colts come to town. Bills are -7, over under 50.
The rare good team that Buffalo has to play this season. It seems like all year Buffalo's just mollywop bad team after bad team after bad team after bad team. Then plays the rare good team. They get a break with a good team.
They got finesse in Tennessee.
Then another stretch of bad teams before they play another decent team. And that's really what the back and forth has been outside of LeBron James is playing tonight. You heard it here first. We broke it on the podcast. As far as Buffalo goes, they've been up and down recently. They destroyed the Jets, toasted them, obviously. The Jets are in a bad situation, but the week before they lost to Jacksonville, they had been struggling with good teams that they played all year. And I think Indianapolis is really, really good. I think Indianapolis's defensive scheme is ideal for what Buffalo wants to do. They want to attack the ball down the field. Indianapolis loves their cover 2, their cover 4, too high. That's their philosophy. And I think that bothers Josh Allen a lot, and I think they can hold up against the run on with their front 4. I think Buffalo is starting a backup right tackle as well. Offensively, I expect Carson Wentz to struggle, but if Indianapolis can run the ball with Jonathan Taylor and just keep the game close, maybe they could come out with a win. I still think Buffalo gets it done in the end, but I'll take the Colts to cover and the under.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a good matchup, a rematch of last year's wild card game. Carson Wentz filling in for Mr. Phillip Rivers. And the biggest thing is here, we got 2 good defenses that are going to make it hard for both offenses. So I think we're going to get a defensive slugfest. I think Carson Wentz and Josh Allen will make some plays, but I do think they'll be struggling all day to go against those secondaries. And it's going to be that too high on both sides. So not a lot of explosive plays. Some matchups to watch: Trey White versus Michael Pittman. Trey White's a smaller corner. Michael Pittman's a bigger receiver. So we'll see how that works out. Any news about T.Y. Hilton? He's going to play. He's going to play.
He's just not that guy no more.
He hasn't finished many games. He doesn't finish games. Yeah. He struggles to finish games anyway. But I struggled. I don't know who's going to win. So I took Indianapolis to cover. I took Buffalo 21, Indianapolis 20. I think this comes down to the wire. And I think we're going to get a good playoff field type of game. So that's Indianapolis to cover and the under.
I'm gonna differ from y'all. I'm gonna go Buffalo to cover. I just think their offense is gonna be able to put up more points to get that spread. I think Buffalo's defense is gonna have an answer for Carson Wentz. So yeah, I think this is gonna be a cover for Buffalo. And hold on, I'm trying to see something real quick.
And Buffalo wants to reestablish itself as like an AFC powerhouse.
I mean, they would, already.
But like they haven't really separated themselves from the pack the way they looked like when they boat raced Kansas City.
No one has an AFC.
Yeah, so like, if Buffalo wants to be,
people are saying New England is now
exactly that everyone's juggling that top spot. But I think we all believe Buffalo's probably the best overall team. So like if they want to go handle Indianapolis and let people know that, that'd be good to see. Anything else, Eric?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go Buffalo and the under. I think both defenses are good enough to keep it under 50.
50 seems really high.
Yeah,
really high.
If we got a shootout, I would be that'd be a game. That'd probably be game of the year caliber if that's what that spread is saying.
All right, so let's move on to probably the clunker of the week, the snooze fest. Miami traveling to New York to face the Jets. Miami's favorited by 3.5 over under 44.5.
This is my lock of the week. We're gonna go ahead and ride Miami.
That's a cop out. That's a cop out.
I'm giving. I need a breather. I've taken a lot of risk. I haven't hit them a lot. I need a nice little putt. To get me through the week. Joe Flacco starting for the Dolphins for the Jets this week. I expect Miami's blitz-heavy defense to cause him hell because he can't go anywhere. And when he throws the ball short, Xavier Howard will be taking it the other way.
Or just be check downs, like negative 2 yards.
And I think Miami will come up, pressure the receivers who really aren't existent, and we're going to make plays.
The rookie has shown.
We get Xavier Howard, Byron Jones. Like that.
Continue.
Doesn't seem like a great matchup for the New York Jets this week. The Jets defense that was looking decent early has fallen off a cliff recently. The injuries have definitely caught up with them. I expect Tua to put on his best performance of the season against a bad football team. Miami continue to pad their numbers against a bad football team and take the win and the under.
Luckily, Miami's first-round pick belongs to Philadelphia, so we're rooting for Miami, except for when they play the Giants later this year. But I have nothing much to say about this game other than the Jets are starting Joe Flacco. It's 2021. I'm going to take Miami to win 24-10, an easy Miami cover, and an easy under, and a terrible game that no one deserves to be stuck watching.
Yeah, I'm on the same, so let's move on. That game shouldn't be on television. All right, let's go to Carolina, where Cam Newton is making his home return against the Washington football team. Carolina is -3 over under 43.
I'm expecting a Cam Newton revenge game here. Like I really truly am. Washington is going to be let down a little bit after their good win against Tampa Bay. They're not going to be able to replicate that same kind of success against a Panthers defense that's healthier and probably playing better at this point. And their defense is still overrated, in my opinion, especially in the secondary.
Well, they just shut down the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week.
If Tom Brady saw that, they also chewed 11 minutes of clock in one quarter. That's how you shut down an offense. I don't think they'll be able to do that against the Carolina Panthers. I expect Cam Newton to look like Cam Newton, make plays, couple in the air, couple on the ground. I expect the Panthers to roll in this one. Carolina to cover in the over.
I agree, though. I think we're going to get a good game, though. I think this is going to be a big revenge game between Cam Newton versus Ron Rivera. A game that, both guys are going to be pushing their team to want to win, to prove a point. A game that will be that probably has more pressure on Matt Rule because there's no way he could afford with Cam Newton to lose to the old coach with the new owner. That just won't be good for business. So I'm going to take Carolina to win 28-24, which will barely cover. I think we're going to get a good game. I think one of the more underrated matchups of the week. Two teams that are good. I mean, two teams that are average. They're on an equal playing field. So this is going to be a matchup-based game, a matchup to watch. How much pressure that Carolina front provides. I still think Brian Burns is out.
I'm not sure. Eric, what's going on with Brian Burns?
I think he's playing. I'm pretty sure he's playing.
But yeah, how much pressure Carolina can apply, because that will determine how dominant their defense can be in this game. And that's an over? Yeah, so I'll take the over as well.
Yeah, I'm going Carolina. I think this is a game. He was a full participant in practice today. I think Carolina, they need this game. Cam Newton, I think, is going to get a majority of the snaps, if not all of them already. But yeah, I think better quarterback, and the defense is going to keep them lower than them. So, and Carolina's been a surprisingly under team this year. So I'm going to take the under as well. Yeah, I think it's just going to be exciting for Cam's back in Charlotte, so it's going to be a fun game. Let's move on to Chi-Town, where the Bears are hosting the Ravens. Ravens are 6-point favorites, over under 44.5.
As we saw today, Khalil Mack has been placed on IR for season-ending surgery. His year is done.
They're gonna have to trade him.
It's gonna be hard to do that when you just had season-ending surgery and a big contract. That's not great news for the Bears on that front. But other than that, things have been looking not too bad for the Bears. They played on that Monday Night Football game against Pittsburgh before their bye week. They looked really good in defeat. Pittsburgh just got the calls at the end of the game as they typically do. But what you saw was the growth from Justin Fields. Now you're hoping that 2 weeks with the bye, they saw the game plan that Miami used against Baltimore. So they got to see that, and hopefully they got a chance to replicate that and get a good game plan from Lamar Jackson. But either way, I expect a big bounce back from the Ravens this week. The Bears are not very good, and I think Baltimore is very good, which is why I expect Baltimore to cover here. I think Lamar Jackson makes a lot of plays in a windy and cold day at Soldier Field. So they'll cover and the over.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I mean, you said bye week and time off. I just don't believe the Chicago Bears coaching staff will take advantage of any of that. But I still expect Chicago's offense with Justin Fields to put up a nice fight. But at 6-point, I think I took Baltimore 28-21. Baltimore to barely cover because I just think that's an easy cover. They're going to at least win by a touchdown in this game. At least they should. But as for Chicago, I'm going to pick against the Chicago all year long because they have our draft. We have their draft. So thank you, Baltimore. I'm going to be pissed if Baltimore doesn't get the job done. And that's Baltimore. I took the over.
Suddenly I'm rooting for Chicago a little bit.
What total did you take?
I took the over.
I also took the over.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna take Baltimore to cover this. I think coming off an embarrassing loss against Miami, I think they're gonna want to respond in the best way they possibly can. And Chicago is gonna be the victim of that, I believe. I'm gonna go over as well. I think obviously a majority of these points are gonna happen with Baltimore than Chicago, but I think Chicago. Justin Fields maybe shows another explosive play to show his development and growth and can hopefully score a few touchdowns for that over. All right, so let's move on to Philly, where the Saints are coming into town. Philly, surprising to me at least, is 2.5-point favorites over the Saints, over under 42.5.
Well, as we know, Trevor Siemian's playing. They ruled out Teron Armstead. They ruled out Ryan Ramczyk and Alvin Kamara. So the Saints don't have anything on offense. And that's why I think Philly's taking this one here, honestly. I think Philly deserves to be the favorite. They're at home. It's November. It is about to be hard as hell to play football in Philadelphia with that grass, in that environment, with those fans. It's going to be gross. It's going to be tough. It's going to be defense, hard, physical, tough sledding, all that good stuff. I'm expecting a really physical defensive struggle here between two bad offenses and two good to great defenses for New Orleans, a good defense in Philadelphia's. I expect both teams to try to run the ball here, low possessions, and try to get out of here with a field goal. I'll take Philly to cover and a very easy under.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think it's questionable. The Saints ruled out their offensive line. They're both tackles, their best weapon. Michael Thomas still out playing. Their quarterback, Jameis Winston, is out for the season. So their best quarterback, their best receiver already out for the season. And I think Philadelphia whoops up on them. I still think we get some decent scoring. I took Philadelphia 28, New Orleans 17. Sean Payne will draw some stuff up. Mark Ingram will make a couple plays here and there. I mean, New Orleans has showed you they're well coached. The fight they put up with Tennessee last week. Philadelphia's no world beater, but I just think that the situation falls right. Philadelphia's also home. I think Philadelphia covers easily. And as for New Orleans, they got to go back to the drawing board probably after this game and figure out how they want to regroup.
Well, yeah, I didn't know Kamara was ruled officially out yet, so I'm going to switch to definitely Philly in the under. I mean, Philly and cold weather is just, you're not getting up for that game. So Yeah.
What did
Under.
you say?
I took Philly in the under.
I took the over. I took the over.
You took the over? Okay.
But we all took Philly.
So let's go to another blowout game. It should be the Houston Texans. It was nice not to watch the Texans last week. But,
Didn't even think about them.
Houston Texans going to Nashville to face the Titans. The Titans -10 over under 44.5.
And yeah, the Titans should continue to roll here. They've gone through the murder's row of great football teams. They've knocked them all off so much so that they can even give Julio a rest here. But I think A.J. Brown will end Ryan Tannehill will be more than enough to score enough points in that Houston defense. And the way the Tennessee defense is playing right now, I don't expect Tyrod Taylor in that offense to do a whole lot. So I'm going to take Tennessee to roll here pretty comfortably against a bad Houston team in a bad situation. And I will take the over because there might be some garbage time.
I agree. The Texans are Detroit Lions bad. They're going to be competing for the number one pick in a year with no quarterback. Unfortunately, that seems how it always is the Texans and the Lions. As for Tennessee, Ryan Tannehill and A.J. Brown on offense will be good enough. They could rest Julio. No Derrick Henry. He might be back for the playoffs, they're saying. I think he can be. Their defense will do the job. I took Tennessee 28-6. I don't see the Houston Texans fall into the end zone outside of garbage time, but I don't account for garbage time until I actually see it. So yeah, that's the under. I took Tennessee to cover in the under.
Yeah, I'm in a complete agreement with Isaiah. I think Tennessee in the under is the play in this. I mean, Texans, I think they're worse than the Lions. So
it's not even worth competing.
Where's their win?
Where's their tie?
Where's Detroit's win?
Where's Houston's tie?
Detroit would trade that tie for that win in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
So would you rather tie with a competitive team?
I take the win.
I take the win. To the Jags?
The win.
Yeah. Come on.
The win.
They're both bad.
One team has tasted victory.
Both have 70+ losses.
They've left the field
in November
and felt like a better football team. That's what Houston got to feel this year. Is Detroit going to feel that? You don't even know.
I know they left the field a couple times thinking, "Damn, we were the better team. We blew it." That's what they did.
That's more sadness. Houston don't know we ain't blow. We just went out there and handle business, got the W. That's what Houston did this year.
Let's move on from talking about Houston.
But all right, so let's move on to Minnesota, where Kirk Cousins has Aaron Rodgers coming to town. Green Bay is -1.5 over under 47.
Historically, Kurt's got a pretty good, decent record against Aaron Rodgers in his career. There, he's batting about 500, especially when Aaron comes to Minnesota. He's had a really hard time there. Minnesota rushed the passer really well. Well, they did until Daniel Hunter when that was knocked out for the season with the pec injury. Minnesota's come off a really, really good win. They went to LAC and they pretty much handled them for the most part, especially in the second half. They pulled away. Dalvin Cook was getting going in the run game, and we know Green Bay is going to play a lot of DBs, a lot of that too high look. I think that plays right into the hands of what Mike Zimmer wants to do, because Mike Zimmer loves a conservative run the football game plan. If Green Bay is going to allow him to do that, Minnesota can hang right there until the very end. But unfortunately, this is a 1-point line. So I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers to find a way to break their hearts at the end of the game. So Green Bay will take the win and cover, and I'll take the under because I think these are actually two really good defenses that will hold these offenses down.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Green Bay's going to be playing too high. I think Minnesota will be able to run the ball. Their offensive line is actually playing really good this year. I think Justin Jefferson is going to be able to get open. Jari Alexander is scheduled to, I think he's still out. Rashawn Gary's out. Zadarius Smith. I think everything breaks right, and I'm actually picking Minnesota one more time. And I'm going to take Minnesota to win. What was that? Let me see. Minnesota. I'm going to take Minnesota 28-24. So I'll take the over. I'll take a Minnesota cover because I got to keep backing them as my NFC North division prediction. So
as someone fighting for a bye, I'd be really happy with that result.
This is where this has got to start. I think this, like you said, the Vikings have a history of beating the Green Bay Packers at home, and they're home. So this is the best chance they're going to have.
I'm going the bad man, Green Bay. I think this I'm going to save my lock. This was so close to being my lock, but I'll take Green Bay and the under. I mean, both these defenses are good this year. Green Bay is hot right now on the defensive side. So I'll go Green Bay and the under. So moving on, we will go out to Las Vegas, where the Raiders are hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati is -1, over under 50.5. And I'll start, gentlemen. This is my lock. Cincinnati -1 against Las Vegas. Vegas is just dead in the rights, and Cincinnati's coming off a bye, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think they'll have it primed and ready. Welcome back Jamar Chase to my fantasy lineup, and let's roll. Cincinnati -1 lock.
Yeah, I agree. I've got Cincinnati winning 35-24. I think this is where we see a Las Vegas Raiders tailspin, and the only hope is that maybe one day Derek Carr will be let out and just get away from whatever this is tailspinning to. This is only going to get worse for Vegas, and as for Cincinnati, they could let down, but coming off a bye, I think hopefully we'll find out what type of coach Zach Taylor is. Can he regroup the troops? And during the bye weeks, teams like to preach working on your fundamentals, getting the basics, get back to basics, and make sure you're doing all the basic things correctly. So that's going to be key. And as for Las Vegas, good offense. Defense is good. Defense is a good pass rushing unit, but just too many things have gone wrong for them to even think about having a good season anymore.
The Raiders have a chance to learn from their mistakes. As what we saw last week, they stubbornly played their cover 3, cover 1 coverage, and they got torched by Patrick Mahomes. Now, Joe Burrow is no Patrick Mahomes, but that's another team with a dynamic passing offense with a bunch of weapons that can beat you up and down the field. You're going to have to play a more conservative game plan if you're going to want to stay competitive in this game. Unfortunately, I don't expect that to happen. So I will take Cincinnati to go and cover the spread and get the W. I think they're a really, really good defense. I think Cincinnati is a really, really good defense. I think the Vegas Raiders are a really good defense, which is why I'm going to take the under here. But Cincinnati the tailspin for Vegas continues. It's just going to be hard for them to continue to get up for these games when so much turmoil has gone through their organization. This is bones right for the picking for Cincinnati to go get a feel good win.
All right. Well, let's keep it moving. Let's go to Seattle, where Arizona is coming up. Arizona -1.5. Over under 47.5.
Well, we already know that Hopkins has been ruled out. Kyler Murray is a game time decision. I am going to go of the mindset that he does not play, because it just seems like if it's this close, then you probably need to get him another week. They've got enough of a cushion in terms of like their winning record.
And they have a bye next week, I think. Also,
they have a bye next week too. Give them the full weeks to rest instead of trying to reactivate the injury. With that being said, that's why I think Seattle will get the win here comfortably. Seattle's defense has been playing really, really good. And against a Colt McCoy-led team, I expect their defense to handle that job enough to let Russell Wilson work out the kinks of that finger, finally get Metcalf going, get Tyler Lockett going. Their offensive line, Dwayne Brown slipped up a little bit, but their offensive line's actually been playing decently. If they can do a decent job protecting Russell Wilson in a much more friendly weather environment, I expect Seattle to take the win here. Seattle to cover and the under.
Yeah. I agree. I got Seattle winning 24-21. I think we get another classic NFC West game. I'd be surprised if Colt McCoy plays, if Arizona gets to those 2-21, but they've shown some good offensive efficiency even without DeAndre Hopkins, and I have Mr. James Conner on fantasy, so I'll be rooting for him to get some more touchdowns and keep padding that up, maybe some garbage time if we're lucky. But yeah, I took Seattle 24-21, which is the under, but I think Russell Wilson playing and even a nicked up Kyler Murray, I think this is a get right game. And everything's lined up for Seattle to get a nice win that they need to revive their season.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Seattle too. I mean, hopefully Russell Wilson gets better from last week. Can't really go down, but hopefully has finally got his feet wet and will be better this week. I got Seattle, and I have the under as well. What did you have, Moody? The under?
The under.
Okay.
All right, man. We've been agreeing this whole time. I think we're finally going to get a little bit of a disagreement here for the game of the week.
Yep. So here we go. Dallas heading to Kansas City. Kansas City -2.5, over under 56. Moody?
That is a monster over under, but I think it's going to deliver. I truly, truly think this game is going to be everything that the fans want and hope and dream that it's going to be. Because I think both quarterbacks understand what this game is all about. Persona. This game's all about storylines, because in the grand scheme of games, it's an interconference game between two teams that are probably going to be in the playoffs, leading their divisions. It doesn't swing the season one way or another if either team loses the game, but I don't think either team feels that way. Patrick Mahomes found his rhythm last week against the Vegas Raiders, who played a very poor game plan, but they're all talking about how they got their swagger back. 400 yards, 5 touchdowns. He's the only guy to ever do that 3 times. He's unbelievable, best quarterback in the league. But they're going up against what this year in 2021 has been the best offense in the NFL, first in points, first in yards. Dak Prescott's been leaving a well-oiled unit that has been great in all but one football game this year against the Denver Broncos. The Chiefs defense that has really picked it up against what I believe is some poor offenses to make their defense look good. But I think they're going to see a juggernaut of an offense this week that they really don't have the personnel to handle, because outside, I don't know who guards him at corner. I don't know who stops the run. Chris Jones is a dynamic football player, but if they're going to keep using him inside out like that, I think that wastes his talents, especially with the Cowboys being good and all over the offensive line. So with that being said, of course, I'm expecting the Dallas Cowboys to walk into Kansas City and get their Patrick Mahomes win. Dak finally seals his candidacy. He becomes the front runner for the MVP candidacy. I think both teams reach the 30s easily in a dynamic offensive display. But coming down to clutch plays in the fourth quarter, I believe we get the ball last and we send Kansas City home. Very, very sad.
I mean, that's what he believes will happen, but that's not happening. I'm going to go ahead and just say I'm going to put all my fate in Mr. Steve Spagnuolo to get the defense going right, and I'm going to let Patrick Mahomes do the rest. And now Amari Cooper's out with the COVID protocol. You might miss a couple games. I'm going to take Seattle to win 35.
Seattle?
20. I mean, yeah, that's crazy. I'm going to take Kansas City to win 35-28. And I think without Amari Cooper, that's an X factor sliding type of.
They still can't hold us under 30. They still can't do it.
And I think Seattle actually. I think Seattle looks more.
Seattle's not playing in this football game. This ain't Seattle. This is Dallas and Kansas City.
I don't know why I'm thinking about Seattle, but yeah, you get the point. I think Kansas City handles this game. I think the line is a fool's line. I think it's Kansas City easily covers this, and the over will happen because there ain't no way the over won't happen.
I just want y'all to know Isaiah has yet to pick the Cowboys against a team that he has any respect
against New England.
You don't have any respect for New England.
I respect New England right now.
You didn't respect New England at the time.
But I respect them now, and I picked y'all then.
You didn't respect them at the time.
But they're good now. That's all that matters.
Yeah. So I just want you to remember that win. Let's go. Eric, what do you think?
All right. I am taking Kansas City. I'm taking the over because you have to take the over. But I think Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes is just another level than Dak. And I'm sorry. What
are you apologizing for? What are you apologizing for? No one's hard. You don't gotta apologize. You don't gotta apologize to me. Like we going in for the slaughter or something. Like, come on. Ever scared of Kansas City? Nobody here is scared of Kansas City.
Well, it's gonna be a good game. That's all that matters.
Hopefully the game. All right, so let's keep it moving to for some reason, the Sunday night football game where Pittsburgh is going all the way to LA to face the Chargers. Chargers are 5.5 point favorites, over under 46.5.
I know you're saying Pittsburgh's going cross country. That's going to be a Pittsburgh home game, Eric. Those Pittsburgh fans going to be lit. It's going to be black and gold all over the building. And there's going to be nothing those Charger fans can do about it. Pittsburgh's the most well-traveled team in the NFL when it comes to their fan base.
Green Bay's pretty up. Green Bay's close.
I think Pittsburgh's pretty number one here. And come on, the whistle. We know how this game is going to go. And every time Justin Herbert comes out here and makes a spectacular play, Mr. Official will throw his terrible towel and bring it back for 10 yards and replay it down. That's why I'm going to take Pittsburgh to cover here on the road. I think their defense is going to show up and cause Justin Herbert a ton of problems because when he's gone against good defenses, he's had a hard time. 5.5 points is a lot for a team that's been struggling these past 3-4 weeks. Pittsburgh's a veteran football team. They're starting to pick their game up, trying to get ready for the playoff push. So I'll take Pittsburgh to cover and the under. I think both teams' defenses will keep this game low scoring.
So are you aware that Ben Roethlisberger is not playing in this game?
Yeah.
Are you aware that T.J. Watt's not playing in this game? He's out.
They ruled out T.J. Watt?
He's out for a few weeks. So you believe that without T.J. Watt and Ben Roethlisberger,
I didn't know T.J. Watt wasn't playing. Y'all can come back to me.
I don't care.
Yeah,
Justin
I didn't care either.
Justin Herbert's way better than Mason Rudolph, and that's all that matters. I've got Chargers 24, Pittsburgh 10. It won't be close. It won't. And under, because Chargers will just run the ball out when they realize that they could just manhandle Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I have the Chargers and the under as well. I just don't see a way that Pittsburgh's going to score if they don't have Big Ben and Justin Herbert.
Even if they had
the
Big Ben,
quarterback battle is just off.
He's like, man, y'all got real high on a Chargers team that's lost 3 out of 4. That's gotten manhandled their last 2 games. They supposed to come out here and just beat somebody ass. Like in a game and the Chargers gonna be in a road game. They're gonna be using silent count. It is going to be a tough environment for LAC.
Don't worry, those Steelers fans, they'll quiet them up. They'll quiet them up pretty. They'll
quiet the Steelers fans because that's just what happens. People just quiet up Steelers fans.
Yeah,
you're forgetting in a primetime game, the officials will keep Pittsburgh in the game because Vegas know what they're doing. Pittsburgh will get the coverage.
You go side with the chart.
The chart hasn't failed.
All right, so let's go to Isaiah's game. Monday Night Football. Tampa Bay hosting the Giants. Tampa Bay minus 10.5, over under 49.5.
First of all, what a week for the NFL scheduling. They got New England on primetime on Thursday night. They got Dallas as America's game of the week. They got Pittsburgh on Sunday Night Football. And they got Tom Brady versus the Giants on primetime on Monday. Beautifully scheduled out. They get all the brands they want to make money off of right there front and center. And, I already put $50 on it, so I got to stick with it. Giants are getting back Saquon Barkley, Andrew Thomas, Kenny Galladay, Kadarius Toney. Sterling Shepard is looking like he's going to play. Darius Slayton has stayed healthy. This is the best, most healthiest Giants team you're going to see probably. The defense is peaking, and this defense came to claim last year when they put a performance up against Tampa Bay that had people realizing how good they were. I think Leonard Williams has a dominant performance inside, a la the Allen kid from Washington football team last week. And I think with no AB, hopefully he's questionable. He's got his COVID card situation. Gronk will be back, so Tom's going to get one security blanket back. But we know James Bradbury has been matching up with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin his whole career, going back to his days on the Carolina Panthers. And I just think that's going to be a good matchup to see. Last year, I thought Mike Evans kind of beat him. I think Bradbury has something to prove and has to go out there and try to win that matchup. And I think the Giants' offense are going to be good because Tampa Bay's going to be banged up. No Vita Vea and a bunch of secondary guys out. So that helps them. Hopefully, Jason and with protection from Andrew Thomas. I gotta stick by it. I believed it all year that I've always had this win pencil in, so I'm going to stick by it. Got $50 riding on it. I've got Giants 35, Tampa Bay 31. So I've got the over as well.
Oh man, I can see the game being competitive, but I definitely can't see the game being a shootout like that.
Actually, I've got 31-28, but still
I think this is going to be sloppy primetime football because that's the only way the Giants know how to play. Giants don't play in 35-31, shoot them out against unless they're playing a bad team, and Tampa Bay's not a bad team. Tom Brady's going to show up, and he's going to play well. Because the Giants defense, while good, I think Tom Brady just has too many weapons for him to be bad for 4 quarters unless they're really getting after the quarterback. Tampa Bay's line is still really good. They still protect Tom Brady well. Getting Gronk back, I think, is gigantic because now they'll be able to attack the middle of the field against the Giants' too high safety look. And they've been running the ball better recently, and that's been a weakness for the New York Giants. But I do expect the Giants to be able to hang tough in this game because of their secondary. I expect Tampa Bay's defense to be sloppy and put in a lot of penalties because that's what they've been doing the last few weeks. I don't really trust Tampa Bay to cover a 10-point spread like this because they just haven't done that all year. So I'll take the Giants to cover, but I'm going to take an under here. I expect the game to be 20, 13, something like that. Like the game's just kind of low scoring. The Patriots, not the Patriots, Tom Brady and the Bucks are just playing with their food all day. That's how I see the game going down the stretch. But yeah, Giants cover under.
No, I think this 10.5, it's going to be a rude awakening for the Giants. He's not going to come back after a Washington loss last week and just let y'all stay close in this. I'm sorry. It's not happening. Tampa Bay hit the over, but Tampa Bay.
So now, Eric, I have to loan my bridge out to you. $20 on the game, or is this a yay or a nay?
Why are you taking this straight up like this?
I'll take. You can give me some points. I'll take 7.5.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why you took Logan 50 money line where they're just 50 straight up. You're crazy for that.
Okay.
You're nuts.
Y'all go. There gonna be some. They might be. There's someone gonna be sad. On Monday, somebody who didn't see something coming gonna be sad. That's all. That's all we get out of that.
So give me Tampa Bay and the over.
So bold predictions. I'm nothing more to say. I've already picked the Giants. I put money on it. So I've got the Giants pulling off the upset on Monday Night Football. I expect Daniel Jones to get his first primetime win ever.
Oh man, bold predictions. Oh, I kind of said into this earlier, but I'll say it again. Cam Newton shows out with an MVP performance against Washington football team. 2 in the air, 2 on the ground. You see all the dances, you see all the partying. It's going to be a great day for Cam Newton.
Wow, take mine right out from under me. Unreal. All right, I was ready for that, bro. Okay.
You got a Cowboys Chiefs game right there. You sure there's gonna be some offensive craziness going on there? Just throw a dart at the board.
All right. I think that Patrick Mahomes will throw for 400 and 4 TDs again, possibly even 5. I mean, this game's gonna be crazy.
All right. I feel that. All right, Eric. All right, y'all out there. Enjoy the football.
All right.